guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. So I've got my tea and I'm ready for a fantastic review. Now today we're going to be taking a look at this. It's the Ian Malcolm action figure from the Lost World toy line. This is a bit of a one-off. I've had a lot of requests for this one, and Ian Malcolm was one of my childhood favourites because it was the first one I picked up when the Lost World came out. Now here in the UK we had Jurassic Park. When the first film came out, we had the Series 1 toy line, which didn't include Ian Malcolm. Series 2 of the Jurassic Park toy line did have an Ian Malcolm, but that never came out in the UK. So when this came out, to tie in with the Lost World, it was actually the first Ian Malcolm toy on our shores. So that was amazing because I'd always wanted an Ian Malcolm toy, and he was clothed similar to how he looks in the first film. So that was really cool for me. It comes in this massive box. Compared to the Jurassic Park 3 toys, this one's really spread out on the box and there's loads of space here in the front. But let's get a closer look at the packaging and then we'll get him out. You can see at the top here it says Ian Malcolm Chaos Expert. I'm not sure if that's a qualification or a tagline, but Chaos Expert is what he is. Down here it says the Lost World Jurassic Park, and we've got this incredible picture of the Tyrannosaurus leering in. Now, if you were around when the Lost World came out, you'll remember that this Tyrannosaurus was printed on everything. It pretty much was as prominent as the logo. From ice cream all the way through to clothing, this Tyrannosaurus head was everywhere. Over here it says ages 4 and up, and then as we go down you can see Ian Malcolm in his plastic prison. He looks quite unaffected by the fact that there's a baby T-Rex over there. Maybe he's trying to remain still so that he doesn't see him. And down here it says Malcolm with launching smart missile and T-Rex hatchling, and he's part of the Dino Trackers line. He's got a nice missile launcher there, really cool colours, and it's a great gimmick. It's good to see a missile firing gimmick in a toy. Okay, on the back we've got the diorama with Ian Malcolm stood there with his baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now have a look at his face. Back, front, back, front. So quite often with the Kenner toys they'd use a prototype for the packaging because they'd need to get this designed before the actual product. And in this case we've got an Ian Malcolm sans glasses. And here you can see the young Tyrannosaurus Rex. We've got the Lost World logo there, Ian Malcolm Chaos Expert. And then we've got a rundown of all the other figures in this wave. There were more than this, but in terms of what was available in this sort of price range, you had Ian Malcolm, Eddie Carr, Nick Van Owen, Dieter Stark. And then we move over to the dinosaurs of a similar price, Velociraptor, Pachycephalosaurus. And then we move on to the mid-range electronic dinosaurs. So we've got an electronic Chasmosaurus there, plate face. And then we've got an electronic Spinosaurus. Interesting that they did a Spinosaurus for the Lost World, because obviously we all know that the Spinosaurus featured heavily in Jurassic Park 3. And then we've got a slightly more expensive Dino Snare dirt bike with Carter. And now if you remember, the film Carter was the one who basically ignored Dieter because he had his music on, and Dieter actually died as a result. But here he is with a Dino Snare dirt bike. And here we've got the giant Pteranodon Steelbeak, so that would have been one of the mid-range dinosaurs as well. So a pretty cool set of toys. On the bottom here you can see we've got some detailed instructions on how to lock down the missile and then also how to fire it. So when I first bought this I would have looked at all the toys on the back of here and been like, wow, okay, I've got to get some of these. I think the Pachycephalosaurus caught my attention because it was so colourful and also was quite a cool dinosaur in the film. Okay, so all that remains is to get this guy out of the packaging and we'll get a closer look. So here's the Ian Malcolm set out of the packaging, and it's a pretty impressive set, I have to say. What's funny is that the first action figure I picked up for the original Jurassic Park was Muldoon, who came with a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. So it's funny that when I bought the first figure from the Lost World, it also came with a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex with an updated design, due to the fact that now we know what the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex looked like in the second film. So that would have been funny, putting them next to each other, the two baby T-Rexes. Ian Malcolm is great because he represents the Ian Malcolm that we see more in the first film than in the second film, which was actually why I bought this figure as a kid. I remember thinking, right, now I can complete the set of the main characters from Jurassic Park. So I was actually really pleased about that. As you can see, we've got his backpack here, which clips around his waist, and we've got the missile with these two little wings that fold down. Okay, let's get a closer look at Ian. So as you can see, back in 1996, they did a good job with his likeness, and the sculpt is pretty good as well. As you can see, he's got these black gloves on to make him a little bit more of an action figure, and he's also got a sheathed knife sculpted into his trousers. His legs are really glossy for some reason. They're even sticky. It's almost like the finish is still drying after all these years. And you can see he's got some lovely shiny black shoes on. Same for the back. Very true to the Ian Malcolm we saw in the first film. And he's got a full head of hair, which looks more like how he did in the first film rather than the Lost World. On his arm, they've started putting the JP logo by this point on the action figures as well as the dinosaurs, so that's an interesting thing. And it says there, just in the corner, it says Site B to let you know it's a Lost World action figure. So a really nice sculpt of Ian Malcolm with his sculpted binoculars, and a good paint job too. I have no complaints about this action figure. And here's the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex, a really nice sculpt, very detailed indeed, and quite faithful to what we see in the film. The paint job has this hint of green with grey, which actually ties in nicely with the bigger Thrasher T-Rex from the Lost World toy line that you can buy, and that's cool. You got the JP logo on the side with a tiny Site B, and you can actually see they've sculpted on the leg a bandage where he has his injury in the film, so that's really nice and faithful to the story. All in all, a very impressive little minifigure, and a great one for me to start off with when I was younger. Taking a closer look at the backpack and the missile, you've got some really nice sculpted details around here to make it look like a genuine backpack. You've got some rope here, and then you've got some pouches sculpted on there. Really nice. And at the top you've got the hole there for where the missile goes, and the clip that goes around Ian Malcolm's waist. And here you've got the missile itself with fold down wings. It's kind of like a two-stage process, but I'll show you that in just a second. And then here you've got the missile bit that clips in. Okay, so we take Ian Malcolm, we clip this onto his back. As you see, it fits quite nicely. And then this fits into the hole on the top, and that's locked into place. Now the two-stage part is you can fold the wings down and push the retainer down to keep it in sort of backpack mode. It's slipping down his waist a little bit. Let's push that up. So that's backpack mode, and then you can press this lever to arm the weapon, and you can see it's ready to go, and then you use this lever at the bottom to fire it. So here we go. Cool. So the spring-loaded mechanism is actually quite good. Despite being over 10 years old. Brilliant. So that's great. Really nice. So that's Ian Malcolm with his missile launcher. So I'm going to put him in backpack mode for now. And there he is, with his dinosaur and his missile launching backpack. I think it's a little bit of an overkill to use this missile on this tiny dinosaur, but still very cool indeed, and a lovely gimmick. So there we have it, guys. That was Ian Malcolm complete with missile launcher and baby Tyrannosaurus Rex complete with leg injury. I really have some fond memories attached to this toy, mainly because of the fact it was the first Ian Malcolm figure I owned, and I'm sure the same applies to many of you Jurassic Park fans. Let me know in the comments below if you owned this figure or still own this figure, and your thoughts about it as well. Okay guys, rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.